Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with a kind of brainstorming session with a spoiled card being Anax and Cymede and all the cards that I think would go well with Anax and Cymede. I really like the heroic ability on Anax and Cymede, and I think it is very underestimated at this moment. There hasn't been much discussion with it as it was just spoiled in the Heroes versus Monsters dual deck. But let's take a look at the card here. Here it is. It's First Strike Vigilance, heroic whenever you cast a spell that targets Anax and Cymede. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gains trample in a turn. It doesn't just have to only target Anax and Cymede. It just needs to target Anax and Cymede for that to happen. So there's a couple of different routes you could go. The first one I'm thinking of is an enchantments route because it is a spell that targets it. And so you could throw like an ethereal armor on this dude, and immediately that turn he will get +1/+1 from the heroic ability. All your other creatures go +1/+1, and you will get the +1/+1 from the ethereal armor. So let's just go over those. Let's go back to the cards here. Again, and the other route would be like a Bloodthirst route. Seems really good as well with Anax and Cymede, or any sort of, you have other instants or sorceries type. So there's three different routes. I'm thinking of a Bloodthirst route. I'm thinking of an instants or sorceries route. And I'm also thinking of an enchantments route. And we know that Theros is going to be enchantment heavy, so I think that I'm going to try with all of those. And again, we'll have to just wait and see what's spoiled from Theros before, we jump to so many conclusions about what routes would go. So just the one drops, I think the best one drops would be a Boros Elite or a Dryad Militant. Hopefully we get a good one drop. Like a Champion of Perish would be perfect type card in Theros. And it does seem like I think that level up is probably going to come back. They've already spoiled saying there will be an old school mechanic coming back. And everyone thinks that level up probably is the best mechanic for the flavor of the set because you're trying to play with a hero that needs to get better. So of course level up. So one of the cool little combinations I'm thinking of is Young Pyromancer. It works very well with Anax and Cymede because of the +1/+1 on all of your creatures. That would include your 1/1 elemental tokens. So even if you do something like Dynacharge, I hope that there's some sort of spell that gives all your dudes haste until in a turn, or targets a creature as well, because then you'd get a Young Pyromancer trigger off of that. All you guys would gain haste, and then you would also get a +1/+1. And let's see, does Ogre Battle Driver, it says, okay, enters the battlefield, that creature. So it doesn't target the creature. Anyway, some cool little combinations I've already figured out, or cool little interactions, is Flames of the Firebrand. You could actually do 1 damage targeting your Anax and Cymede to give it +1/+1, and all your rest of your creatures +1/+1, and still do 2 damage to their blocker. So not a bad little interaction. I kind of think that it might actually be something that you would, if you're playing Flames of the Firebrand in your deck, that you would actually, the scenario would play out. Of course, Love and Mutavault is another kind of card in the deck. That's why I included it. Let's go back to the 2 drops for creatures. I got a Daring Skyjack, Fencing Ace. I'm liking the Fencing Ace with the enchantment route. Imposing Silvering just seems brutal with this sort of strategy. Prescient Captain is probably an auto include is probably going to be the 2 drop of choice, as it will add 1/1 White Soldier creature tokens that then can get pumped up by Anax and Cymede. And then Wojciech Halberdiers isn't bad either. The 3/2 for 2 is not bad, and it can gain first strike with Battalion. So I think Battalion might be a good route to go. Daring Skyjack, of course, be another great one. But I'm really liking the interaction with the Young Pyromancer, and if I do go the instant route, I think the Young Pyromancer is the way to go. And I'll show you some of the cards that I think are going to be really great with the instant route. So let's move on to the 3 spot. A Johnny Call Over the Pride I think will go great. It does target, put +1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Oops, let's just finish this here. So 1 target creature is going to get +1/+1, which will be your Anax and Cymede, or you can give it double strike and flying and +1/+1. That's a pretty cool ability on 4th turn to make a 4/2 flying double striker. All your other creatures get +1. And then, so I think a Johnny Caller Pride is going to be a definite in this White Weenie type deck. Then we got the Banisher Priest, which is a 3 mana, and then we have Boros Reckoner, which I think is an auto include in a white-red deck, even though cards like Abrupt Decay and Devour Flesh and stuff are very popular right now in Standard. We don't know what Theros will bring. Fiendslayer Paladin will be really cool as well. It's first strike lifelink, and the cool thing about this is you can actually target your own red spells, so your own Madcap skills can go on it. And Frontline Medic there to protect your dudes. I'm liking Gutter Snipe paired with the Young Pyromancer Pyromancer. Again, if you're going to be targeting your Anax, that is a way that Gutter Snipe can automatically do 2 damage if it's an instant or sorcery, and get +1/+1 as well and swing in, and get hopefully a Pyromancer trigger. Pyro Shaman will be the best Bloodthirst because it's like, so you target it, target attacking creatures +3/+1, so it'll get actually +4/+2. All the rest of your creatures will get +1/+1, and one or more creatures to the combat, you might get it back. So I really like that interaction. Sky Knight Legionnaire is a good 2/2 haster. Thought about that. Johnny's Chosen, if it's an enchantment-based deck, I really think this is going to be an auto-include. Boneside Sliver, I just like because it's a double striker. Same reason for Fencing Ace. I think this will go in a double strike type deck with enchantments. I really like it. Just even though there's only other Sliver in your deck, will probably be Mutavault, or maybe you want to use the 1/1 first striking Sliver. Who knows? Firemade Avenger, I want this card to work really, really bad. Maybe the best route to go would be the Hellraiser Goblin. But again, I'm really hoping that this card sees play sometime in its standard life because it's a cool card, and I'm hoping that it would fit in this deck. Then we got the Ogre Battle Driver, which I think is really good. Again, this combos off really well with each other. If you're gonna go the Bloodthirst route, you also have access to Rebel Belt Maka and Scorchwalker, as well as Seraph of the Sword is a good defensive creature that you have access to, and even this Tajic Blade of Legion. If he attacks with 2 other stuff, he's indestructible. That's a pretty good. If you've seen my decks with Predator Ooze, indestructibility is great by itself, and a 7/7 attacker isn't bad either. That can get hooked up with like a Johnny Caller of Pride double strike. Wow. Archangel Thune might make the cut. Sign of the Vichugazi doesn't seem that bad either. You get 2 1/1 white bird tokens and a 4/4. It seems like it's very good with the Cymede combo as well. And you've got, of course, got Aurelia's War Leader and Angelic Skirmisher. I thought might actually make the cut as well. So I'm going to play my game real quick, and I'll pause it here and get back to the instances of sorceries and enchantments.